like a little smooth jazz. Start the morning. Good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late. Good to see all of you. AA, how's it going? Samuel, good to see you in the chat again. John Beatty, hey. For those of you guys who don't know John's responsible for the inking on many of our greatest hits when it comes to comics. Most notably, Secret Wars. So it's an honor to have you in the chat, John. How you guys doing this morning? Franjo, early squad, what's up? How was your weekend? I saw a few of you on the Sunday Funday stream. Did some Warzone. It was a good time. Until I lost internet, of course. Feeling focused. Nice. Me too. I was up really late last night because I just caught this like little final piece of inspiration, fell into a flow state, and then before I knew it was 3 o'clock. It was crazy. And then woke up this morning to just a whole mess of fires to put out. So this is my attempt at changing the vibe of the day. Got some coffee, got some good music, good people. Yeah. Just for those people who followed me a couple hours ago, Lena, thank you. Creative Digitized Solutions, thank you for the follow. 7 Studios, thanks for the follow. Yeah, chill jazz to get back in the flow state, exactly. You know what's funny is that like back in the glory days of my design career, when I was doing just a massive amount of work, running tons of clients at once and just churning out designs. The thing that I would do is watch really long series on HBO. So the first thing that I kind of designed to was Game of Thrones. So I watched Game of Thrones probably 4 times, start to finish while I was designing. Then the other thing was Silicon Valley. So I started watching Silicon Valley last night. It's amazing how those like audio cues, because I just listen to it while I work. It's amazing how those audio cues just kind of like get you clicked back in to the work. So I was like chuckling to myself, having a good old time, and totally lost track of time. It was fantastic. Hey, Mario Shestak in the chat, people. Another legend. Mario is the design director of Born Fight. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the follow. Khalil. Hey. Growing up in Silicon Valley, you can't really stand this show. Is it accurate, though? Because I've never lived in San Francisco. Khalil, good to see you in the chat again. Yeah, Born Fight in the house. Scotty, what's up? I don't know if you guys have taken Mario's typography class on Awards, but it's fantastic. Take ours too, but Mario's is great. I'm so sorry that SF is not Silicon Valley. My mistake. My mistake. What is it? Palo Alto? Yeah, absolutely. The Don't Call It That book. I'm still gonna space on the guy's name. But yeah, it's an incredible book. Anna Lisboa, thank you. Goatmeal, are you still there? Are you still living there? I've heard that there's like been a massive migration of people like away from SF. I mean, we moved away from Los Angeles, but many friends are still in LA. Okay. You live in Seattle, which is better with Amazon there. I remember we were doing a project in Seattle, and we were purposefully driven by the client downtown at 4:30. And then we walked around for 15 minutes to get a lay of the land, and then the traffic hit. It was like everybody started coming out of the woodwork. This is the first time I've ever seen this, but in Seattle, there was a line for the bus. It was literally a line to wait for the public transport bus, which on one hand I was like super proud of, but on the other I was like, there's no way I would ever want to live downtown. It's crazy. And they wanted to show us because they were a commercial real estate company. Their building was positioned outside of the main drag, but it was still on the water. So they wanted us to feel the pain a little bit. Hey, Cornelius. Good to see you. Analyst Boa, I did try those. I also have a shortcut set up on my mouse. The thing is that like when you minimize Windows on Windows and go to the desktop, it literally minimizes everything and it's permanent. It's like, boom, they're minimized and you have to go reopen them. With Mac, you can really quick like swipe everything out of the way and then do something on the desktop and then hit your gesture control and everything just kind of comes back to where it was. So if you know how to bring things back, that is what I would love to see. Okay, so you tried to install the trial on PC. It's bugged in XD. Yeah, Inter is bugged. So XD plus Windows cannot handle variable weight fonts right now. There's apparently a plugin that can help, but I also read that stopped working. So if you have Mac, I recommend sticking with Mac. But I think that like if you go to the Foundry's website or something like that, you can download like a Windows-friendly version of the typeface that works or something like that. That was too far. So okay, you can do that with a little button as long as you don't want to drag something back. Oh yeah. So that's the whole point, is that like I like to move the windows out of the way with the gesture control, grab something up like an image on the desktop with my mouse, and then move everything back so that the image is automatically like I drag it right onto the artboard. And that's what I haven't been able to figure out. Nice, Goatmeal. Mario, you got a fan in the chat. A couple of them, probably. Oh, Khalil is sold on Figma. We lost one, ladies and gentlemen. We lost one. What do you guys remember what we talked about last time, where I was like, okay, if Figma can do this, I'll use Figma for the next project or something like that? Figma's great, but it's kind of funny to like pick a side. There's gonna be two. You know how maybe you don't, but like video game teams, like esport teams, will have drama between each other. Like they'll go on Twitter and like start a bunch of crap, and people will start ganging up on each other and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I could see that being the drama for designers. It's like Figma versus XD. And then you've got the sketch guys coming in, like brushing the dust off of their shirt. Like, oh, I'm here. What are we talking about? The drama from Pablo Stanley? I don't know. What is this? I need to go to Twitter. I gotta look up this drama. This said drama. No, I don't blame you, Khalil. Figma's great. Okay, so what's this drama, guys? Let's see. I can't believe that Pablo would start drama. Pablo's a great guy. I mean, I guess anybody with opinions could really start drama, but he made an interactive robot with Figma. This is crazy. Oh, he made a mini TV show, like Figma over Sketch. Yeah. Hey, Saul. Good to see you. I love XD. Why do you prefer XD? The truth is I use it more often. I don't know. I have both installed on my my Mac, and even with Figma at my fingertips, I always just kind of go for XD. So there's really no like feature that I prefer or anything like that. It's just funny when we find those features that one has over the other. I think that the people who debate most about software are the people who like will open the design software and literally stare at a blank artboard and then start panicking, you know, and then they just don't get anything done, you know. Hey, Centaur. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope your week is great too. Okay, I'll find that and watch it. It's not on his most recent Twitter. That sounds funny. A Spanish opera, like a soap opera about Figma versus XD. That's great. I mean, the blank artboard is scary for anybody, but I think it's just those people that like they do crazy research into gear or software. It's like that's almost a form of procrastination. And by the time they actually get into the design software, you know, it's overwhelming for them. Guilty. Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that at some point. Yeah, man. I always lose it when it comes to camera gear right now. Like you'd never think, like my level of knowledge about camera gear compared to how many videos I actually create, the gap is massive. And I've been telling people this for years. I've got like terabytes and terabytes of footage just chilling on these huge hard drives that I just have never edited into actual things. Hey, Denzel. How has business been at Blind? Do you feel it's gotten quieter during the pandemic? Absolutely. For all intents and purposes, Blind is shut down. We have closed our doors, and the business isn't closed. It's still open legally. It's still running, but we've stepped away from client work altogether. So, as far as Blind is concerned, I think the last client that we actually had was the Hamiltons, and that ended in 2019 or something like that. So that's about it. Yep. We've gone all in. Our entire staff has converted over to the Future, or they've moved on to other agency jobs by choice, you know, because it's a totally different world, and it requires tons of attention. Like, I think it's an illusion for people, like especially outside of the content world, to see how much content that we put out on a daily basis, especially with you know all the stuff that Chris is doing on Clubhouse and all this kind of stuff. There's absolutely no way you could run an agency simultaneously. Like, we did it, but it was only for maybe 2 years at the current cadence, and I was working, you know, all hours of the day. Kids would go to bed. I would pick up Future stuff, you know, Future work, and work until 1 or 2 in the morning. And it wasn't the let's throw on Silicon Valley and work till 3 fun zone. It was just like we gotta grind and get things done. And so when you see all this on YouTube, it's like that takes a lot of effort to get out. So we decided to focus entirely on education, which is why we've been able to grow so fast. So. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, Kurt. Thank you. Chris does need to get Beeple on again. And I think Beeple's one of those guys where like the money's going to come in. It's not going to impact his personality or his, the way that he approaches the world and things like that. So I fully suspect that or I hope that he'd be open to that. Yeah. Because we were paying attention to him with, when he was just grinding away, years ago. Bought a Canon R5 and it just sits on my shelf. Yeah. Zach, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Horton, hello. How far out does the future plan content? We actually don't. So Chris does his thing, and you'll notice a lot of the stuff on the channel is more recordings of things that are going on, so future pro calls, clubhouse calls, that kind of thing. And he puts himself in these situations that like it causes him to stretch, to react, to counterpunch. Instead of planning things out, he's literally in the moment. So he does that. The guys record it, they edit it, they find the nugget and they edit. And then we release. On the other hand, you've got, Greg and I, and when Matthew was working with us, you've got Matthew. We tend to plan our content, but that is, if you want to talk about effort, like it's much, much more thinking and planning and creating than the kind of like quick reactions. So, yeah. It is some of the best kind of content because it's natural, it's organic, it doesn't feel like anybody's reading from a script. And the pressure cooker, it makes diamonds. And he's proven that over and over and over again. So thank you for the follow, WAP LV. Oh, Clubhouse is still a few months away from being released on Android. Do I think it'll be as big on Android as it is on iOS? It depends. I think Clubhouse's appeal right now is its exclusivity. So you've got these rooms that have these legends that are pulling in huge audiences, and then when that gets opened to the other half of the population, I think it's going to lose a little bit of its appeal in that it's not going to be some kind of like exclusive environment, which is why I don't like it in the first place, to be honest. Like, I've tried to like it, I've tried to get into it, I've tried to like I've put some effort into consuming content on Clubhouse, and apart from what Chris is doing, I'm not finding any value there. So I'm hedging the bet a little bit on Clubhouse, but yeah. Chris is doing some of the bigger rooms, like he's pulling in some of the bigger people, and we haven't really heard much from Clubhouse, so we'll see. Hey, Snakes, thank you for the follow. Yeah, there's huge FOMO with Clubhouse, which is why I think a lot of people are talking about it. But I just feel like softwares go through this cycle. We were here with Medium for a while. Like, Medium was the jam, and then they threw a paywall on it, and everybody kind of forgot about it. There was another one that popped up pretty recently that went away in a major way. So I'm hedging my bets a little bit about it. Like, Discovery is kind of crap on it. There's no, like, you can record, which is what we're doing, but there's no way to leave a legacy behind like there is on YouTube or Twitch. There's no content that gets created and stored, and I guess that's the magic of it, but at the same time it makes it more difficult to grow a following on it. Yeah, Twitter Spaces. Yep. Chris is actually in Twitter Spaces now, so if you guys are in there, make sure you follow him. Use any tool out there that would help me network. Yeah. I mean, Clubhouse is a great networking tool right now. Like I said, I think once more people join, it'll be one of those things where it's just like, I don't know. I think you're already starting to see the garbage echo chamber of marketing rooms and, you know, how to make your first $1 million kind of thing. So, but don't let my saltiness on Clubhouse impact you. Like, go experience it. If you find value there, awesome. It's just personally, I haven't really seen that. Bit tired with social media. Ironically, I go through waves of that too. The way that I look at like Twitch right now and live streaming on YouTube is that I actually get to have a relationship with people. You know, I've come to know Travis. I've come to know Anna Lisboa, Horton, Goatmeal. You know, you guys, Moonraid. You guys are constantly joining me, and so like I view this as, I guess, what social media is actually meant to do, which is create and establish good relationships. You know, I played video games with John over the weekend, so it's like, I feel like what we're doing here is a little less about social media and more about relationships. And then the way that I'm viewing YouTube now, which I've had an interesting relationship with YouTube over the years, is legacy. You know, I look back on, I have got some early vlogs on there, and they're terrible vlogs, so don't judge me. But I look back on that and I'm like, man, I don't even remember half of this stuff. And I've got, you know, my firstborn is in there. You know, I get to look back on these things and see where I was like thinking and reacting to. And so I think moving forward, I'm going to treat YouTube as more of like both, you know, providing value to people, but also as kind of like a log of, or a way to kind of catalog my thoughts and my life. It's legacy. My firstborn child. Her name's Willow. She's awesome. She's my favorite 5-year-old. Not the P. Replacing B with P. I do not have an adult video on YouTube. You can look. It might be out there somewhere, but it's not. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm opening an OnlyFans, so there's Building a Brand Season 2 Explore. I don't think it's gonna happen. Nope. Beard videos on OnlyFans, just brushing. Just lusciously brushing the beard. Yeah, and then you can upgrade to a, I don't know. We're getting weird now. ASMR beard brushing. Discoverability. Yep. Anna Lisbo, you remember the vlog about losing weight and running and a day in the life? Yeah, that was fun. Crowdfund the heck out of season 2. We thought about it, and we put out a tweet, and we kind of measured the response to see if anybody would like buy a book from season 1, where it was like we were thinking about putting together like a coffee book, like a coffee table book, where you could flip through things like the discovery document and the like photos and stills from the movies and stuff like that. Didn't get a great response because we were going to use that to fund the second one. But honestly, like, it took a production team of 4 people. It took Matthew and I to be running the job, and then we had a team of 3, 4, 5 people on the job, and we just don't have that level of resources. That it hit at the perfect time because we were already the Future was making enough revenue to support the company at that point. Blind was going through one of the natural kind of valleys in client work, and so we were able to do that job with the Blind team, and it was funded by the Future. So it may not it wasn't the greatest financial decision in the world, but it fit this weird sweet spot that it was in between the two companies, as one was fading out and one was fading in. So that's where we were there. But I don't think that we're gonna I don't think that we're gonna be seeing a season 2 of that. As a member of the Future, what are your thoughts on the Future Academy? Which one? So we have the Academy YouTube channel, and then we have the Academy, which is our learning management system. Let's talk about something else now. Watch Bethany Hex talk. You mentioned in the last stream. It opened my eyes. Yeah, she's amazing. She's an incredible person. Yep. Hey, thank you for the follow. M4CK. M, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Scotty, let me know which one you're talking about. Oh, that one. Yeah, it's weird. So there's another company out of the UK that's called the Future Academy with an E. And we've talked to the founder of that company. And it was not started in competition with us. It was completely separate. There was no cross wires or anything like that. And he serves the same audience, same products kind of. So there's a lot of confusion there, but it's not a malicious thing. So we're just gonna live and let live at this point, but yeah. All right. Switch this up real quick. Okay. Yeah, she's Bethany is incredible. Just absolutely incredible. Dualsit Waves, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, I think we should get into the file, yeah? Well, I appreciate that, Scotty. And like I said, I think that there's room here for everybody. I do wish that the names were way different because it causes a lot of confusion. We've had a lot of people say oh, I bought this thinking it was you guys. So we've definitely lost some business. But as far as the content game goes, as far as interacting with the audience and being there for people, I know that we're the brand that's kind of top of mind. So I'm just hoping that I don't wish ill on the Future Academy at all, but I am hoping that they kind of realize that the we're owning the brand. I don't think that anybody's thinking about them when they hear Future, if that makes sense. So from a branding perspective, if I were them, I'd be switching some things up. All right, so let me show you guys what I was kind of tweaking last night. Tweaking, not tweaking on. All right, let's see. Okay, so I think one of the things that I was frustrated with when we were working on the homepage was the typography. I love this Stelvio Grotesque typeface, but as far as a display typeface, it just I don't know, there's something missing, right? So you can see, obviously this is not a genius layout, but there's just something missing about this, and I felt the need to pull in a display typeface. And we've done a little bit of that with these, the SAA kind of highway fonts here. But I was just like, I don't know, I just was not happy with it. Even here, when I was combining Hercules and Stelvio, I was like, I just don't know. So then I started like kind of toying around with some different options, and I'm really looking to go with kind of a newer, fresher typeface. So I was pulling in, I think this is what is this, Ostia here. It's kind of a gentler serif typeface, but it's still got like super high contrast. And then this one, Vultura, super high contrast. It's got these like funky brushstroke elements on the ends of some of the strokes here. I kind of fell in love with it. And you can see here's the Stelvio Grotesque. I guess it works. It's just, I don't know, I got bored with it. So I was playing around with this, and oh, look at these arrows. I found these in Stelvio Grotesque. These are the Stelvio arrows. It's beautiful. So I was playing around with this, and I actually did this layout that I really like. So let's see here. So what I'm thinking is, so this is the Vultura, and there's an outline version of the typeface. Is obviously when you hover over this lower quadrant of the screen, you can do something like that. Background image appears, there's a mouse takeover, the typeface fills in, and then, that side brings up a different image. I don't know, I'm kind of pumped about that. We'll see. What do you guys think? Adil, thank you for the follow. So another version of this, it's basically the same concept, but it's got a different nav bar, and then the text overlay here disappears on hover. And I'm still wrestling with this, if to put nav links above versus not. But I like the combination of Stelvio and Vultura here. I think they complement each other. The only downside is that as far as sizing goes, I was kind of doing some tests here, and if you size Vultura down, it like the X height and the cap height, the ratio matches pretty well. Thing is that this is a 370 point font versus 420. So usage, like we're gonna have to be really careful where we use this Vultura if we decide to go this route. And because it's such a high contrast font, it really needs to be large and in charge. So I don't think that it's gonna be even a heading 1. I think like even here, legibility decreases at a certain point. So still going all in on Stelvio, but I think like some accents of this Vultura would kind of put it over the top. Alexis, thank you for the follow. Yeah, it's a crazy jump, and I wish it was a little better. But if you can nail the sizing, like I said, the ratio is there, like between the X height and the cap height. So I'm comfortable with it, but like you'd never use it inline. You know what I mean? Hey, Mellow Sprout. It's been a while since we saw you. All right. Seltzer of the day. Michael Bublé Mango. I just got raided? What? Hold up. I didn't get a notification. Oh, I just saw that. Hey, Next Tab. Thank you for the raid, man. I appreciate that. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Man, this is great. For those of you guys who are new, we're working in XD on a personal website. Sure, absolutely, Mello. That's totally understandable. Thank you, Zach. All right, so let's take a look at the descenders because that was a good point. Somebody brought that up. And the weight too. The weight is a little different. But like I said, the goal here is not to use them like next to each other. Yeah, you can see descender on this one is quite a bit longer. I'm not going to use them in line like this. It'll just be more for kind of accent, like that H massive, instead of actually building it into a functional type scale, if that makes sense. Oh, right on. Well, welcome. Your viewers are a bit more used to German. Oh man, I don't know one word in German, but hey, I'm glad to see you in here. Welcome. Just wanted to offer the viewers a warm welcome. Just chatting versus art. So just chatting, I don't know. This goes into the like design versus art debate. I'm more comfortable in just chatting simply because, I don't want to jump into Webflow every now and again and, be in the art category. It just feels like it doesn't fit. Also, I've noticed that viewership goes up a little bit in just chatting versus art. So there is that. I tend to keep art a little bit of a sacred space. Yes, I don't know. All right, so we have tons of work to do. Where's my notebook? All right, here's the pages that we need to design. We need to design the menu. We need to do more variations of the blog post or content page, like the single content page. We've got my story page, the now page, or the resources page, the content list page, the 404 page, the search result page, and then I think I'm going to do like a work list page for case studies that's just kind of buried. It's not going to be like surfaced in the main nav. So I'm thinking we work on either the menu, like the full screen menu, or we jump right into the now page. What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Hello. Is hello. Okay. Holla. Nope, that's not right. I often have clients with a certain idea of what they want to be doing. Then I can use some pre-made layouts, customize them to my clients. I think that's a good strategy, especially for lower budget work, using templates in web. The first take was pretty good. Yeah. Any books on psychology and branding? Oh man. Anything by Marty Neumeier is going to be legendary. Anything by Seth Godin is going to be legendary. I think that you're going to struggle to find a psychology, like a actually medically licensed psychologist talking about branding. You may find more results by searching for consumer psychology, and that might be a more fruitful search. But I don't have any off the top of my head, so we've come a long way. This is where we kind of started, and I am pretty stoked at ending up over here. Yeah. Okay. So what are we going to work on? I guess we can do more variations of this. Kind of feeling the now page though. Oh, right on, Richard. The Toby Chrome extension is awesome. Yeah, Urban Edge. Personal websites are the worst. It's almost like you have so much freedom, and then the freedom becomes almost, I don't want to say a prison, but you know what I mean? It's like you get imprisoned by the freedom that you have. I don't know. Without a sandbox to play in, it's really, really difficult to make a game. You know what I mean? I also started nailing down the color palette, and I'm really liking this setup here. I'm gonna run things by Greg, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be something along these lines. You know, just in case I want to do something funky, I've got this pink and orange, and then the orange really stands out on the green, and then you've got this like green black that I'm using as the background. It's very similar to what I'm doing for what I did for the style guide kit. But that was really in line with my personal brand as well. So I think I'm gonna start adding these. One of the keys that I'm not actually using a true white or a true black. Same color scheme of the keyboard? It is actually. Wow, I didn't even notice that. There's no red, although I do have some like red orange accents. I've got a Godzilla keycap set that I could throw on here that would really match. Okay. I think I'm going to start the now page because I've done one version of this before, so I've got a bunch of content that I can pull in. We can play with the design. I'm also really feeling this grid. 5 columns. I've got some space over here on the left for the menu, and then just a small gutter over here. And the reason why I'm digging this is because it works for this. Where are we? This layout here. So even though the page is offset, like it's not perfectly centered, you still get that centered feeling from these two things. So I'm digging the grid that we're playing with here. I also decrease the gutters down to like 20 pixels or something like that, which also helps. Okay. So I'm thinking let's go light. I don't know, let's try it. See how it goes. I don't think we've tried a light version of the page. Oh, the other thing I started doing is putting a word up here, which I thought was kind of balance things out. Razor Taser. Treading on dangerous ground there, depending on what comes next, so please be careful. All right. So as far as the now page goes, I like the idea of the page opening up to probably get out of this outline. There we go. Just, you know, keeping things airy and light and having a bunch of white space when you first hit the page, and then kind of leading people into the content, if that makes sense. You know, I wish that the artboard, okay, maybe this is responsive resize. So I wish that the artboard, and I know why they don't do that, but I wish that there was an option to like vertically fit the content. You know, if you could turn that on like you can with text right here, it'd be great, because I'm finding myself constantly like selecting the title, zooming out, grabbing the handle, dragging it down, you know. All right, let's open my other one, because I was playing around with a 5-column grid over here. Matthias, thank you for the follow. Walker, good to see you. What fonts did we end up choosing for the website? So we're still on Stelvio Grotesque. That's still 100%. But the thing that we're playing with now is the display typeface, and right now I'm really into this Vultura font. There we go. So this is old. This is probably 2019 maybe, like, because I was thinking that it would launch in 2020. So this is definitely at least a year old. But you can see I was playing around with this 5-column grid even back then, which actually is pretty close to what I was doing. So I'm gonna pull this content over and see if we can lay this out. This off screen here so I can copy. Hey, do you guys remember the problems that I was having in Illustrator with my keyboard? It's still doing some weird stuff. I'm curious if any of you Windows users have seen this. But like, sometimes I'll hit the T key, and the T key for text, right? It's the text shortcut to put a text, like a piece of text on the board, and it opens the text menu instead. And then sometimes the command key doesn't work, and sometimes like I'll start typing inside of a text box and then it will issue some shortcodes. Like, it's weird, like really, really weird. Matthias, oh, absolutely. I'm super glad that you found Discord. Yeah. And we will also be doing some critiques today. So it's 12:15 now. We'll probably go like maybe 12:45 or 1 o'clock. And I'll pull somebody into the stream to do some critiques. So stay tuned for that. I hate the word critique. I'll help you out. Whatever you need help with, I'll try and help. All right. No, I almost like the light background better. Okay, so I'm going to pull my type scheme down here. Let's see, where's the one I like? Okay, this is it. So this is something I was toying around with last night, is like figuring out how things would work together, and kind of setting the system and the scale in place. And I'm pretty happy with where we netted out here. I think this is a 22? Yeah. So it's pretty large for body text, which I'm a fan. I like it. So the first thing is, I think it's really important to have an update date on these pages. And if you miss the first couple of streams, this now page is really for to give the visitor kind of an inside look of what I'm thinking now, where I am, where I'm working, what I'm focused on, active projects. Like it gives a snapshot of what I'm actually doing right now, which is kind of cool. There was a whole movement last year of people adding these things to their site, and I find it more valuable than like case studies and stuff like that for where I am now. Right, so this would be something like, what's the date today? 23rd. See, that Stelvio Grotesque is beautiful. So something I was, we have a bunch of people in the pro group that know what they're doing when it comes to web design and web development. And I was having a conversation with one of the developers, and I was like, the thing that I think many designers get stuck up on is the difference between a first heading, a second heading, and a third heading, and then the actual like tag structure in the back end, H1, H2, H3. And he told me, make sure that you only have one H1 on the page, and then you can have a couple of H2s, and then you can have a couple of H3s inside of those H2s. He said, but the thing is that you can style them however you want. So your H1 does not always have to be the biggest, baddest thing. Like I could technically classify this as my H1, and then this as just a piece of text. He's like, what you want to do is you want to look at the structure of the content on the page and then tag appropriately. And it doesn't necessarily have to indicate style. So that was really helpful for me because, the whole like huge text here, smaller text, smaller text, smaller text, back to huge text. Those hierarchies, like, they kind of bug me. I like to bounce around a little bit. So wow, you guys are so active today. Man, this is great. Sounds like a modifier key getting stuck. Snakes. I thought that too, especially because I built this keyboard, like I soldered it. But the thing is that it works fine in all other programs. Like literally I'll try to copy something and paste it, and it pastes in XD, but it doesn't copy it from Illustrator. It was, something outdated. It's really weird. Has to do with SEO. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Vultura. Khalil got it. Bont is great. Yeah, Bont on YouTube is probably one of the most underappreciated designers on YouTube. Like, his content is fantastic. It's been a while since I looked at it, but yeah, as long as the titles are in order, as far as like the markup structure, like the actual tags. Bont's information is really black and white, but the thing is that like, especially when you're just starting out, people need that. They really, really need that. So, you know, I don't know if you were saying it's a downside, but honestly, like it's definitely needed for some people. Especially when you're just starting out. You got to learn the rules, and you got to learn when it's okay to break them. So way too much. Hold up. I also upgraded my mouse. I don't know if I told you guys, but I upgraded from the Logitech MX Master 2 to the 3, and I'm super stoked about it. It's so far it's been really great. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I always wanted to kind of do this like super chunky text section on the site. This might be too big. See how outdated this is? Willow's age 4, Olivia's 1. They're 5 and 2 now. I don't live in Los Angeles, but I'm playing around with real content. So obviously this stuff will get rewritten. I don't know. I kind of like that. Actually needs to come down a little bit. I'm thinking of this as slides. That's Seraph is Life. Dude, it's so good, right? Oh. Look at this. My other favorite Seraph is Hercules, and it just doesn't hold water. Not on this. I mean, this is just... Something weird about this. There we go. Whoa, too fast. Now, if you guys bought the style guide kit, you notice I mentioned Greenville in there a couple times. We were thinking about the move even back then. So, oh God, no. Just do a line. And I'm going to make a vlog about this. I wanted to like, dear Lord XD, we need an eyedropper tool for border color. Animated grain? Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I have some grain here, but it's set to lighten. So if we change that to multiply, it's too much. I also probably need to invert the grain because right now it's meant for dark. Matter of fact, why don't we do that real quick? Pull that into Photoshop. All my windows are all jacked right now. Here we go. You just want to be closer to you, yeah, Zach. Yeah, Hercules is tight. Yeah, I'm telling you, Hercules is great, but like, it's got so much personality. You just have to be careful with like usage because it can't be any kind of like, it can't live in a small space. That Vultura, it just like, Yeah, I've got the grain set for the darker background. Wait a minute. That's not right. This is not what I wanted. Oh, I guess you can't open a file by dragging it onto the icon. The other title of this should be just like Idiot Learns How to Use Windows. So just invert it, like Command I, and then we'll save this as a new JPEG, just to indicate that grain in the back. Oof. So we'd probably want to add another, like an extra variety of grain onto the back where it's like light colored. We'll probably just do that on dev. So I just did a repeat grid there. We can smush them all together. There we go. Nice. Lock that. Okay. Grain and noise, that's something Figma can't do. Well, XD can't either. It's just a PNG file. So you notice that like my slides here are all kind of wonky. So like these the grain is 1920 by 1080. And you'd think that like the text down here would be centered in here, but I'm not looking to make like sequential spaced out slides like that. And if you notice, like when we preview it, we're scrolling down. There's only if we space things out according to slides like 1920 by 1080, you'd have this big gap here where there would be absolutely nothing on screen, and that's what I wanted to avoid. So this is like We're just going to kind of ignore those lines. Figma game for life. Hey, go for it, man. Like, Figma's great. Repeat grids are the one tool that you miss. Yeah. Mason's over on YouTube, people, so if you're missing his comments, he's pretty active over there. All right, let's send this to the background, then lock it again so we can play with this here. Okay, so let's do, where's my other XD screen? I don't know if pulling in another image is the right call yet. Probably not. Like, I want something here at the bottom to pull, you know, the user, that like just indicate that there's more on the page. But I also want to keep this like super updated. So I don't know if I want to be updating several images. All right. Okay. Just leave it for now. This line height is crazy. Still playing around with the scale. Trying to figure this out. Because this is the, like, technically the body copy here. And this would be the heading 3, but something like that feels better for the body copy anyway. What width am I using for body text? So I'm trying to go by character count, and then the typography on the page will adjust depending on the page width or the browser width. So this will all be set using EMs, and then the body text, which is going to pull the size from the body text, is going to be set with viewport widths. And then at a certain point, everything will lock. So I'm going to go through, it's called Wizardry by Timothy Ricks. So if you guys need that link, somebody can post it in the chat. But starting to realize that playing design streams on my TV is a bad idea. Why do you say that? So we can take a look at the character count. Let's do character counter and see if this falls within the sweet spot. So it's actually a little long. So right now we're at 87. I think that's fine. So I just took the first line of the lorem ipsum there. It's a little bit long, but like for body copy, if we increase the size to 30, I don't know, that might be too large. So that goes 80, and that just feels like it's too big for body text. Kind of like 28 at this point, at this width. And obviously it's going to change when we get into dev, but like just being able to see it like this. Might even just add some padding to the right side there. Just decrease the width just a little bit. Yeah. Hey Andy, good to see you. Everything's so tiny. Oh, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to pull this over to the side here. See how this would look in text. You can pull in this. I'm still pumped about this Stelvio Grotesque. I actually kind of like that. So an alternative is we go kind of our yeah, I'm kind of thinking that this is the right way. I haven't said a complete sentence in like 5 minutes, guys. My God. Here's my thought process here. This section is going to be the most frequently updated in the entire page. It's literally what I'm doing now, like where my focus is. I'm going to update this every single week. And so it's going to be important, but it's also like, I don't know if it deserves more emphasis that I'm giving this. Because this is really the summary, right? So when I'm looking at like the body text, this feels like a good flow, but I'm still kind of wondering if I need to go and bump it up to like a heading 3, so that it doesn't feel so small in comparison to the overall summary up there. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. And I'm kind of leaning towards this text size, the body text size. Yeah, I like that. Let's see, so that's 927. Okay, so it's about 75 pixels of padding. Or so. 70. Okay. Coding videos on the TV. That would be terrible. Although it depends on what size of TV you're working with. You know what I think would make a fun stream is if we, like, I don't know. You guys tell me if this sounds fun to you, but I'm a sucker for like office videos on YouTube. And I think it'd be a really fun stream to like work on the planning of the new office space on stream, like pull inspiration, pull assets, make decisions, even like go through the purchasing process so you guys can see my credit card. No, but I think it'd be really cool because I have this 19 by 21 room that I'm taking over. It's being built right now for my new studio. And I'm planning on having like an overhead spot. You know, obviously the streaming desk setup, but it's going to be a lot of different kind of setups. So be kind of cool. Oh, for sure. Matthew would definitely be involved in that. I don't want to take credit for the guy's success, but I definitely painted my wall black first. Just saying. Oh, man. I miss that dude. I talk to him all the time, but it's like, you know, it's different when you're not working together. Let's find a... I just want a nice shot of this book. Somebody thinks she's real funny. This is a great book, by the way. I read it a while ago, but yeah, I think it would be fun. Probably do that like after hours kind of thing. Do some Pinteresting, get some inspiration going, get the juices flowing. That background repeat grid is tripping me out. Yeah, this is nice. It's like by the time that text scrolls out of view, this should be fading in. I think it was Don Norman, right? Yeah. Don Normal. So we're starting to fall into some patterns here, which is a good thing. And we will start looping in our assets panel more for typography. Because like right now I'm going and like grabbing this subhead here. And by saving our type styles in like the character styles area in XD, we can prevent that. But I just want to make sure that like we're on the right track before we start saving those. Guys, look at this arrow. I don't know if you saw this before, but this arrow is included in Stelvio Grotesque. So pretty. Like, what? Get out of here. Come on. Too pretty. Check this out. Get bold, and it gets bold. I think my 5-year-old's out there lying on me. Daddy told me that I could... I don't know. Whatever mom says. That's my default. It's like... Come on. I actually think I'm gonna explode this out. So I can play with this. I think it's Command 8. Yepers. Just expanded the path there. Might be too much. Simmer down. I like that text link. What do you think? Matches that. You know, looking at this, I don't think that we need the subhead up there. I think it's a little just, it's extra. So extra. I kind of like it left aligned. Alexa's over there going crazy. Thought I had missed an appointment. Yeah, I kind of like it side by side there. I think one of the things that junior designers don't do or do wrong when they embark on a web design project like this is they fail to check how the site is actually going to appear in the browser. And so you see me do this all the time where I'm pulling up the preview because I want to see how this thing scrolls. Like I want to see the different scenes or compositions that the things that I'm placing on the board actually create when it's in the browser, right? Because so many designers will just take a look at their artboard as a whole. Like even on Dribbble, you see it where people will zoom out and they'll look at the artboard almost like a poster, but the user would never see it like that. So it's helpful to just continue to check the browser preview. I think I'm happy with that. Subhead broke it out for you. Let's see. It's such a strong thing. What I don't want to happen is like, I don't want it to be one of those things where it's like subhead, 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 subhead. You know, like it just gets repeated too often, which if you notice on the future site, like the meta text over there, it's all over the place. Because right now we're not aligning to the grid. So if you notice here, so technically we should be over there, but it just doesn't look right. I don't know. I'll leave it. I'm not super opinionated about it yet. So the big question is, when do we bring in our display typeface? Right now it works really well as a page header. I'm kind of curious to see if we're ever going to be able to implement it in another place. Just a disclaimer, I'm technically a junior designer. No, but like, you'd be amazed. A lot of us old heads, we just fall into patterns that are unhealthy, and it takes somebody new to kind of pull us out. So, all right, so pull quotes. That's an interesting idea. Let's see. Let's pull actual quotes so we know what we're talking about here. What? Here we go. Oh, those are pretty. So we could probably do some cool stuff with that, like just a huge quote element. So pull quotes out of like a body of text, kind of like how we have over here. Do something where we pull oh, that's pretty. You know, it doesn't work as well on dark backgrounds at this size. Oh, kiddo in the background. They're actually having fun. They're down on the trampoline just jumping around. I'm pretty sure one has like a bucket of mud. And so yeah, she's literally jumping up and down on the trampoline with a bucket of mud. So that's going to be great later. It's exactly as messy as you'd think. But they're having fun. That's what matters. All right, I think if we scale this down just a little bit, what we could do is I don't think so, guys. I think that the page header is really the only place that we're going to be able to do that. Maybe the menu. We could probably pull it in on the menu. Let's see, this is 76 that we've got here. Dark section would help break up the layout a little bit. I agree. Let's see. I think I'm going to do that on the next one once I'm figuring out type. The thing is that like right now, what I'm really wrestling with is just the type scale and getting this into a spot where I'm really happy with it. Oh, it's already 1. Okay. Oh, I wish that the border color played well with these components. Man. You know, we should actually put the book under this heading. That would make sense. That heading is a little large. The line is a little long. Whoa. Hey Hamza, good to see you. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hit pause on this because I feel like we're at a good spot to take a break. Oops. I wonder why it's doing that. Yeah, that feels a little bit more natural to go into a header after this. I think that this needs just a little bit more space though. That feels better. Shadow's a bit much. Okay. I think it's specific to this image because this color blends into the background so badly. So we can prevent this in a different way. And I tend to agree. Shadow is kind of killing the flat vibe that we've had so far. You see what I mean? That corner just totally disappears. But we'll just pull a different image. This is not the greatest anyways. I just kind of pulled something from Google. Okay. All right. I think it's time for some critique. Yeah? See, we'll go to just chatting. Head to the Discord. All right, how you guys feeling? You guys hanging in there? Yeah, I totally agree. That shadow was like, I just wanted to separate it out from the background a little bit more, but it kind of threw the rest of the composition. So we'll see. We might even actually go to a dark background like A was suggesting, because the thing that I'm going to do as we go through the site is like background changes. What I want to completely avoid in this design are any kind of like horizontal bands of color. So I don't want to have any like hard edge where it just like it goes right into a different, background tone and type color. I will, however, animate it so that everything changes as you scroll into the different sections. So it's a small differentiation, but I think it matters a lot to the viewer. So, but we can emulate it. Like I just don't like to design around those hard-edged horizontal bands, if that makes sense. Yeah. Zach's hungry. I'm hungry too. What time is it? It's 1, so it's almost lunchtime. Okay. So I am in Discord. And if you are on Twitch, I'm not sure if this is working in YouTube. I tested it out and it worked like 2 times out of 4. But if you want to join the Discord, just hit !Discord and the link will pop up. So if you'd like work critiqued, throw it in this critique requests channel here, and we'll get it. We'll make it happen. So we've had a bunch of activity in here since, which was great. Like Travis added kind of a recap of the critique that we did for Room 9. And he also added some of his own opinions in there, which is fantastic. And that's what I want to see. Like, obviously, I'm going to have a hard time as this community grows critiquing everyone's work. But I think that there's this like, as we went more remote and as people start freelancing and going out on their own, there's like a back and forth that's really, really valuable in the creative process. And what I'm trying to do is kind of recreate it somewhere, like give a safe space for people to critique each other's work and all that kind of good stuff. So you can definitely jump in there, and I'll pull something here to work on. Matt, are you in the chat? Let me know. What does it take to get the channel certified? I want to start watching some designing emoticons for the channel. It's coming. It's coming. Basically, like, the one thing that I want to do is get through this project before we go affiliate on Twitch. And there's a reason for that. Okay, so Matt, go ahead and jump in waiting room here, and I'll pull you into stream chat when I'm ready. So in order to get those emoticons, and I think they call them emotes in Twitch speak, basically the hook, the catch to being an affiliate or a partner is you can't multi-stream. So right now I'm streaming both to Twitch and YouTube. And so as soon as I accept the affiliate agreement, I'm not going to be able to do that. What I would like to do is take this project all the way to the end so that I can dual stream on YouTube, because when we get to the Webflow portion, I want to be streaming it on not only my personal channel, but also the Academy channel for the future. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, I think it's a really natural, organic way to pull more designers onto Twitch, because I feel like we're very underrepresented here, and I want to grow this community. And so pulling people in from the Academy channel and showing them that, like, hey, I'm on Twitch, we've got a bunch of other designers on Twitch. I think it's a really natural, organic way to do that with multi-streaming. And then the other thing is that section of the project is going to be sponsored by Webflow. So, you know, I want to make sure that they're getting tons of exposure there. So that's the reason why we haven't accepted the affiliate agreement yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Hey, no problem. It's schoolwork, real work, that's a priority. Make sure you guys are doing that. Smileja 85, thank you for the follow. 100 pages, my gosh. Yeah. I would recommend that everyone here at least tries streaming. You're not going to get crazy amount of viewers. I think my first stream I had 7 viewers. The stream on Sunday, I think like we maxed out at 11. But I would recommend it, and it's less about what you get from it and more about what other people get from it, because it's a little bit nerve-wracking until you get numb to it, to share your process. And it's kind of like one of those things where, you know, somebody out there is stuck on something, and just by watching they may get unstuck. So I think that there's inherent value in streaming. So go for it. All right, Matt, I'm gonna pull you in the waiting room. Go ahead and mute the stream if it's not already. Hey Matt, can you hear me?
Yeah, just one sec. I have to mute your stream.
Cool. All right, Matt, I'm gonna pull you in the.
Yep. Hello.
All right. Okay, so
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. So give me some context here. What are we looking at today?
All right. So I'm just gonna pull it up. So that is my college portfolio that I made when I was trying Figma.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to get used to Figma and web design because I'm gonna pursue that next year. Okay. Has a lot of just my pieces that I've done throughout the year. Kind of just the print page, I kind of just threw that together, just placed them there. So I kind of want to critique on the layout and the format, like my use of type, and also some of my designs, a lot of those designs, I'm going to be using those to apply for jobs, and I really want a good critique on how they look.
Okay.
So you can go as in depth as you want, as nitpicky as you want. I really like good critique, so I can actually improve and get better.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna turn your volume up just in case, guys. How's his audio? Can you guys hear him all right? You don't know what raid brought you here? Well, Raging Rattlesnake, welcome, and thank you for the follow. All right, so I just turned Matt up, so you should be able to hear him a little bit better now. Okay, so we're reviewing this college portfolio, and this is your first foray into Figma, right?
Yep.
So I should be able to click around in here because it's a prototype. Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I made it look like a website.
Nice. Oh, fancy.
Which page are you on?
So I'm sharing my screen in the Discord, so you should be able to like be in sync of what I'm sharing there. So let me know if you don't see that.
I see it. Perfect.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
I've loved Discord so far for this stuff. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
I need to put my biography, but we don't have to discuss that today.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of getting used to the site.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
That menu is supposed to be at the top.
Yeah. I get it. No worries. It's supposed to be sticky, but I think what's happening is that this screen, the height is shorter than my browser height, so it's just centering the screen on my screen. Okay. So as far as the layout goes, like I think that there's let me start with positives. As far as type goes, there's a very clear hierarchy. So I read this first, then I read this, then I go to the buttons. We've got categories here. Everything's very, very clear. But I can also tell that you're very new to the design world and to Figma in general, I guess. As far as like layout, I think there's a lot that could be done here. But for a first venture into web design, I want to give you a pat on the back because my first designs looked nowhere near this good. Okay? So all these critiques, all the stuff that I'm going to say, I want to just kind of disclaimer it. If this is your first foray into web design, you did a great job. So just keep learning, keep pushing.
All right. Tell me everything.
Okay.
I can't wait.
I think that the first thing is that I'm just bored. I really I'm looking at this and I'm not engaged by the design. It's very like it's almost transactional where I'm not hooked. I'm not really like delighted, and it's this feeling that like